Right, we're on the right hand side of the bike and we're going to fit the side panel on. The panel that's got V-Strom Suzuki written on it. Now, you put this panel on, you just got to be a little bit careful. Slide it up underneath the nose cone. And then you've got, I don't know if, I can't see the camera properly so I don't know where I'm pointing at. Yeah, right, this bit here, just pull it out towards you just ever so slightly, not much, because if you pull too hard you could snap something. So just ever so slightly, lift it up, and then that'll, as long as you don't get the other bit stuck, that'll just slip into place then. So you've got your holes here for your screws, screw in there, but before I take you any further, I'm going to lift you off the tripod and just show you a thing or two. So I'll just lift you off here. Right, just putting it on, as you can see, it's all sort of going in place. I'll just zoom out. All sitting in place, but if I lift this panel here, you can see there that the panel is actually sitting underneath. Now if I can keep my finger on that, basically just pull your panel out slightly, lift it, and then just push it into place over the top of there, and then you can put your other panel back down. But also under here, see, don't know how well, can't even get the camera in. Just there, there's a grommet for this panel, this top panel that's moving about, to click into it. Now, earlier on I was, in one of the other videos, I was on about there was a broken bit on the panel and that's the bit that's broken off. But because it's screwed there, and it's screwed there, and there, and there, and there, when you get it lined up, and there when you get the other panel on that comes up to it, and in there where it screws through and bolts to the radiator, the fact that that bit's snapped off under there, it's not a major problem. I mean, it'd be nice if it wasn't snapped. Nobody likes damage on the bikes. But I'll just put you back on this tripod a second. Right, and I'll just move you. Right, screw wise, turn this a bit so I can see. Right, up here, these two screws that go in here, and like one there and one underneath your indicator here, they are, I'll try and zoom in onto these, they've got like a little shoulder on them and they're quite a short thread. Now the one that bolts through, if I can get it to, the one that goes through here, which bolts into your radiator, just bring you back up, is a lot bigger. I'll see if I can get these two side by side. Right, that one, the bottom, right, as you can see there, possibly, if I can get my hands to go in the right position, the one that goes into the radiator part, he's got a lot bigger shoulder and it's a bigger thread. So this is like an M5, this is like an M6. So just don't mix your bolts up. I mean, some of the bolts, I've just got that wrong as well actually. That's the radiator one. The the one that's just fell on the floor. Yeah, that's the radiator one, which has got a real big shoulder on it. The other one I was showing you is actually the one that goes through that bit there. Yeah, the other one, I'll pick it up. So the one that's got a slightly bigger shoulder on than the first ones I showed you, that goes through this bit. And then the littler ones with a smaller shoulder on, they go into this bit. And then the one with the big shoulder on goes through a rubber grommet in there and bolts to your radiator. You've also got 2 screws that don't have a shoulder on at all. One goes into that bit and the other one goes into there. And then obviously you've got your like a self-tapping screw, and that's the one that goes into that bit there. So I'll get you back on this. In fact, I'll knock you off for a minute and I'll get set up again. Right, so once you've got your screws sorted and you know what's going where, just make sure that your holes are lined up, and then just start screwing. Now when you get in so far, just make sure that your panels are actually up on your shoulder of the bolt, and then just nip them up. Don't make them too tight yet, you want everything to line up first. Right, just swap battery over. I lost battery then. Yeah, as I was saying, just get everything lined up, and as I say, just rattle your panel so that your panel goes over the shoulder of the bolt. If you tighten them up and catch your shoulder, you can actually damage your panel. So once you've got them ones in, I'll just move you around. And you can see with this. Right, the next one is I'll put the screw in the front. Try not to block your view. So get your screw, get it lined up, and again same thing, just nip it up and then back it off quarter of a turn. Just make sure everything stays loose while you're putting your panel on. And if you come across, say, one of the bolts further on, if you've tightened them all up and something's not quite lined up, then it's an arse to get your bolts in. So the next ones will be I'm going to try and lift you up a bit. I know one thing's for certain, I don't ever get a job for the BBC. Right. This, kick the camera over again. This screw's just one of the normal sort, if I can get it to come into the camera view, just the normal screw. It hasn't got a shoulder on it. So just get that in. Screw it in, just pull panel again, make sure it's not 100% tight. You don't want to be tightening stuff up until it's till you've got them all in. Now and if I can get this to go up high enough. Right, the next one we'll put in is this top one, and again it's the the one without a shoulder on. So just start that in. Now the one on the radiator that I was showing you at the bottom, I'm not putting that in as yet, because I can get to that even after the crash bar and that's on, and I want to be able to just pull the bottom of the panel out slightly so I can get into this wiring that I'm going to be doing. So I'll knock it off for a minute and we'll get the next bit of panel in. Right, I'm going to put the other side panel on, and it's exactly the same. Just get your panel in, sort of line it up as best you can. Get your front so it comes up and over the little tag. Lift the panel over there, put it on the top, and on this one the part isn't broken that fits in there, so I've got that to push in. That's it. Right, so same as to the side. Get your correct screws, get everything lined up. That one so it clips over there, the bit on the tank. Top one in place. Right, I'll just need my screwdriver. And we'll get this screw in at the front of the panel, and again same on as on the other side, the one that goes in the radiator at the bottom of the panel and the one that bolts to the bottom of the tank. I'm not putting them in yet, just so I can manoeuvre the bottom of the panel. Right, so that's that one temporary, well not temporary, it's in place, just needs tightened up. So we'll get back onto the other side and we'll put crash bar on. Back in a minute. Right, I'm going to put the right hand side crash bar on. First just have to take the 4 bolts out. Grab the crash bar. Now this one's already got a light on it. It's the one that I had mocked up yesterday. So get all the bits to slip into the holes. And get a bolt in. When these bolts are tightened up, there's like a black cap goes on the end of them, but I won't put them on straight away, I'll put them on later on. Right, just give me a ratchet. Right, once you've got them all nipped up tight, well, tight-ish, just make sure they're nice and secure. Right, and that's the crash bar on, and I can still move this a little bit so I can get access to wiring, which is what I'm hoping to be able to sort out with this lot. Feed that through. I don't know whether to bring the wire down along the crash bar itself, which they'd then have cable ties around your crash bar, or just feed it down through that. There's a little hole in, well, not a hole, but a gap in the panel there. The gap's there even when the panel's tight, so feed it through there. Or maybe, I don't know, I'll have a look in a minute, see what the best thing is. But that's that side crash bar on, so I'll just knock you off for a minute, we'll go up to the side. Right, this is where your crash bar joins together in the middle, and there's like a joint piece which goes in, and on that, I'll just zoom you back out. On that joint piece there's like O-rings, and as you can see from them, they're absolutely goosed. So I've ratched out some O-rings, and these were probably O-rings left over from an engine I've worked on an Harley or something. I usually keep Harley stuff. So just roll the O-ring on. Look at this. Just roll it on so that it's up to the middle, sort of thing, and then basically just shove it in there, and then when you put the other half on, there's like a spacer sits in between this lug here and the lug that's on the other one, and then it just bolts through and tightens together, and that obviously just stops vibration or whatever on that. So now that that's in, we'll sit down, we'll get this side crash bar on the left side. I'll be back in a minute. Right, same thing on this side. Take out the screws first. I thought they'd be a bit tight. Right, just need to find the other half of the crash bar. Right. Now then, when I come to fit this one in, what I'll do is, see that, can't even see if it's, yeah. I'll shove it on there first. And then I'll get this, get it all lined up at this side. And again, put the bolts back in. I don't know if you can see it top of the crash bar up here. No, you can't. There isn't a light on this side yet. It's marked up where I want to drill it. I put the two halves side by side so they were in line with each other, and put a line right across the pair of them, so that when I do drill them and tap them, like as I've already done the other side, as you know, when I do this side, the light, well, the hole anyways, will be in the same place. So just nip them up. Get them all nipped up first. And once you've nipped them all up, just give them a and just round it out or not there. Might just take that one back out and put a new one in. Right, for now though, I'll knock it off a sec and we'll go back to the front part of it.